So I'm going to proceed. I hope you can see my screen. This is the country report from Australia. So my report is in two parts. The first is about women engineers in Australia, and the second is generally about women in STEM in Australia. So for women engineers, I'm presenting here actually the membership of Engineers Australia. As you know, I'm a past president of Engineers Australia, and Engineers Australia hosted the first APNN meeting in Adelaide in 2011. And I've been keeping the data on membership of the women members of Engineers Australia since 2004. And I recently managed to get an update for the last 5 years, which I hadn't been able to do before. So I'm presenting here 18 years of data, and I'm the only person in Australia that has this entire history. And so I'm very pleased to present this to you today. I was one of the first 100 women to become members of Engineers Australia, and membership has grown from less than 1% in the 1980s to about 15% of all members, but that includes students and graduates. And this is the red line that you see here. And you can see that the total membership of women has grown steadily. This is the green line, and it is approaching 10%. In fact, it crossed 5% in 2007 when we ran the Year of Women in Engineering in Australia to give visibility to the existence of women engineers in the country. And this resulted in a significant boost in the membership, and we crossed 5% for the first time. So you can see that right here between 2007 and 2008. But what is very interesting in this graph is the drop that you see from students, which is the blue line, to graduate members, which is the red line, to full members, which is the orange line, and to senior members, which is the purple line. So you can see that this drop shows the loss of members and the loss of women engineers in the profession. So on graduation, we lose, on average, we have about 16% of students, engineering students are women, and we lose a very high proportion on graduation, and then further we lose even more when they start work and so on. And we saw some similar losses as well in the presentation by KWSC. So you can see here the losses that have occurred. And out of more than 100,000 members, only 23 women are honorary fellows, which is the highest ranking that we can give our members. So now I will move to presenting on women in STEM in Australia. And this is a report that is published by the Department of Industry in Australia. And I'm presenting here the statistics from the 2021 and 2022 report. So you can see here that the participation of women in vocational studies, which includes trades and nursing and teaching, is quite high, 65% in the natural sciences, but only 10% in engineering. And in terms of university, in agriculture and environment studies, it's 59%, which is quite high, but very low in engineering and related technologies at 18%. In terms of the gender pay gap, this is the gap between what men are paid and what women are paid on average in companies. There is also something called the equity pay gap, which also exists in Australia, which is the difference in what women are paid compared to men for doing the same job. So what I'm showing here is the gendered pay gap. And you can see in all STEM sectors, only 27% of women participate in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics industries, and they are generally earning 18% less than men, mainly because they are in lower ranked positions. Similarly, in health, because there's 78% women, because there's a lot of nurses are women, but because they have lower rank positions, there's a 17% gap. And in all industries, there's a 20% gap. In terms of leadership, you can see that 51% of industries have a significant proportion of women in management, but in other STEM sectors, only 28% of managers are women. So we lag very much in the STEM sector. This is an overall picture of how we're progressing from school to leadership in industry and professors in universities. So at school, you can see on the left-hand side that boys and girls are quite interested, up to 83% in science and mathematics subjects. But their parents and teachers do not believe that girls can study these subjects. So you see that parents are only between 3 and 11% confident that their daughters can study science and mathematics. And their teachers have even lower confidence. Only between 2 and 7% of teachers believe girls can study these subjects. So this bias starts from school. And even though parents, mothers and fathers, 90% of parents and 96% of teachers believe that science and mathematics are important for the future, yet they are holding girls back by not giving them the confidence to study these subjects for a career in university. So as a result, there is low enrollment of women in STEM subjects, and only 38% of university degrees in STEM are taken up by women. Similarly, in vocational education, only 16% of enrollments are by women and 19% are completed. And so not surprisingly, only 27% of employees in STEM sectors are women. And the drop continues as you move from post-education to entry level and into senior academic positions. So we see only 29% of female researchers are women, and only 18% of managers in academia and research are women. And in industry, it's even worse, where only 8% of CEOs, for example, in industry are women. And interestingly, women also tend to leave the sector. So you see that, well, 38% of STEM graduates are women. After 5 years, only 26 remain, and so many have left. Compared with men, where 62% graduate in STEM graduates are men, and after 5 years, there's 47% still in STEM qualified occupations. I thought I would share an initiative which has been very successful in Australia called the Coalition of the Champions for Change. Initially, it was called the Male Champions of Change, but as there were a small number of female CEOs of industry, it expanded and was called the Coalition for Change. And basically, there are organizations in different sectors that collaborate and compare their performance in encouraging diversity in their organizations. And this coalition has groups that are spread to all sectors, including universities and academia, research institutions, and associations like Engineers Australia is a member, as well as, of course, industry and government. So you see here the results for the STEM sector group, and you can see that the leaders here, the orange line is up to 100%. Leaders are committed to gender diversity, and they want to learn how to do it. They're dismantling the barriers for women to work with policies like parental leave, which is again at 100%, and dealing with domestic and family violence, which is a big issue in Australia, up to 100%. But there are many areas where a lot of work needs to be done to promote and support women in a systematic way to remain in work and to progress to leadership. So you can see the sponsorship of women is lagging. It's at 60% and not at 100%. The gender balance in succession plans to senior management and CEO is only at 50%. Flexible work is at 100%, but take up of flexible work is lagging at 70%. And this is the reason why women don't return to work. And there's other measures such as dealing with bullying and sexual harassment at work, not quite at 100%. But you can see that significant progress has been made. And the advantage of this grouping is that the CEOs can see what others are doing and learn from them and then change the policies within their own organization. This is another report from the STEM sector. And this shows basically the members of the STEM sector, as well as you can see how they have progressed. So the green squares show that great progress has been done, and the red squares show where more progress is required to get to basically 50%. So you see here on the left, you've got companies like Oricon, which is a consulting company, the Australian Bureau of Statistics, which is a government body, the Australian National University, which is a university, Cochlear Limited, which is one of Australia's leading innovative companies that has developed the cochlear implant for those who have lost their hearing. And it's a worldwide success. It's the CSIRO, which is Australia's major research organization, the Department of Defense, Engineers Australia, Geoscience Australia, Thales, which is a French company, but operates in defense industries in Australia, and so on. And you can see here that key managers, for example, in the CSIRO, 71%, so it's showing orange because they've gone above 50%. Department of Defense is lagging at only 22%. So you can see here what needs to be done. And if you look at non-managers, it's all dark green. So women are holding administrative roles, but they haven't gone into executive roles. And similarly here, you see the women hires. Some data is missing, but you can see that in Thales, they have not hired enough women. They're lagging at 26%, and women exits. So women are leaving at high rates at the Australian Bureau of Statistics. So the reasons for that could be investigated and to get that organization to 50%. So this is a very powerful coalition. You can find more information if you Google it. I've given the source there, and you can learn about other sectors. And perhaps this is an initiative that other nations can think about adopting. And in fact, there is a Philippines group, and I particularly present this. It's the only group in Asia that's part of the coalition. But since we have Philippines as a member of APNN, I've presented the outcomes and that have been achieved so far in 2022. You have the name of the convener there, Mrs. Aurora Gueda Garcia, and you can see the companies and CEOs, all men, but they are working and reporting in the same way and using the same strategies to increase women's representation. And so this has increased to 63% across all groups. 64.5% women's promotions have been achieved, up from 60.8%, and they've moved 60%. Have moved closer to gender balance. So you can see the progress there that is being measured for the Philippines. So I'll end my presentation there, but I hope you found something useful that you can take away and implement in your own countries. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Madeline Kanga. The statistics shown is very intense and very advanced. I think it's actually we share a very similar nature in all countries. This actually gives us a picture of like state where we are, the reasons to it, and then process is taking. So it's I think it's going to help us to our next afternoon's discussion. What happens next? So I think those informations will be very useful. Now I'm going to invite Sitika Sultana, Vice Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to share my screen here. Am I audible clearly? Hello?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Hello there. Now it's 11:30 or quite too nearby 12. So good noon. And how are you all? Maybe you all are in good health. So I just invite all of you first and come to Bangladesh. Now is a rainy season here, and very good mangoes and lychees are available here. So you're most welcome here. Okay. Now I would like to share my presentation. Is it not share? Is it not
Oh, we
share?
can't. Oh no, not shared. We can't see it. Thank you for the invitation. I think our guests will, our participants someday join you in Bangladesh. And so
Yes,
you
I
have
have.
15 minutes, yeah? And your
Yeah,
slides are not shown.
not shown.
Okay, now it's coming. Maybe you
Okay.
can do full screen.
Yeah, I'll try.
Oh, it's
It's okay.
yeah. I
Okay.
think it
Thank
is
you.
coming.
Okay. Okay. So very brief. I like to do very brief. So this is a very brief about my country's report. I'm representing from APNN and also the West Bangladesh. And West Bangladesh is working towards promoting women rights and empowerment in the fields of science, technology, engineering, entrepreneurships, and mathematics in Bangladesh. By focusing on these areas, Wise Bangladesh aims to provide a platform for women to have their voice heard and contribute to these fields, which traditionally have been male dominated. I know it's especially in South Asia, all we are struggling is the same manner. So this was our first photos in West Bangladesh. It was when it was developed in with this collaboration in ESDO. So it is in their premise. It was in 2000, I guess it's 2016. So Wise here we like to just emphasize to four pillar. Is one is the empowerment, and two is the efficiency, and also the employment, and also health. It's a very slow, I don't know. We just want to show three ladies photos and share the first ladies in the left side. They all got this year award, and especially in their field. The first one is Dr. Shenjiti Shaha, a microbiologist working at the intersectional of clinical microbiology and global health as a scientist at the Child Health Research Foundation in Bangladesh. And recently, she earned a position in the 2023 list of the 100 best and brightest Asian scientists for their contribution to research. And also, the lady from the right side, she Lafifa Jamal, a professor of Department of Robotic Mechatronics Engineering of Dhaka University, recently won the Women ICT Personality of the Year 2022 for her special contribution to information and communication technology in Bangladesh. And the lady, she is also working with Shenjiti, Dr. Shenjiti. She is Dr. Gausia Chaudhuri, also has been included in the list for her contribution to the field of sustainability. And she's the lady, she's working really hard. She also encourage, also promote their students in this field. And what we have done we have been working on the recent activities through this ESDO and WISE. We have done many studies, we have done many research, especially we have been working in the chemicals, some of toxicity is heavy metals, the mercury, lead, PFAS. So that type of activities, our ladies, they are working with many experience with that, especially for the mercury added products, especially for the skin lightening cream. And they delivered their speech and interview with our national TV channel. They got interview and they published an interview in our national TV. It is mostly young children, young scientists have come up with this, and they did research and they shared their result, and they work also. They went to the beauty parlor and they got their experience from there. And during this interview, they shared their knowledge and ideas, and also they delivered the action plan and suggest to the government what they are doing. Next. I know we have already know about the PRS, many of them. So these are 3 conventions I attended this year, these 3 conventions. These are mostly focused on the chemicals, waste and waste trade, and also the toxic trade, and especially some of country, 180 country, they are gathering over there, and they do a policy and the formulation over there, but still we are struggling in Rotterdam Convention. So it's not happening. Many governments don't push and don't come forward it on that because of the focus on really the toxic chemicals. Yeah, and also Stockholm Convention is focused on the POPs, persistent organic pollutants, and also the plastic waste. So, very recently, world coming in the working on the plastic issues, and they jump on the plastic pollution issues, they're working on that, and also the waste trade. It's related to the 3 convention in BRS COPs. Here, I want to share the Stockholm Convention. It was also in Italy last year. And I attended in the Stockholm Convention preparation. It's a new POPs and new chemicals come up in also relate to the long chain and persistent chemicals and persistent toxicity in our daily lives, in our daily products. So this is also coming up, and it's especially I showcase this all the things because of we all are stems. Many of them, I don't know exactly. Many of them are involved with this and know about this convention and others. I also invite all of them. If we stems and if we leaders are come up in the field, so it will be great help to share our knowledge and also our young generation to share and move forward with them with this toxicity and the knowledge share. And we have been doing also in Bangladesh the water sampling in PFAS. It's a group of chemicals, and this is very alarming. And I know everywhere is the same things, but in Bangladesh, all the chemicals are spreaded. There is no rules, and there is it's a really havoc in our all kinds of pollution. Not only the air pollution, it's the air pollution, land pollution, water pollution, and my fellow colleagues, she's collecting the sample from the these areas, there is the industry, especially in the textile industry, beside the river color is like this. And we did a sample, its result is really tremendous because of the all, and also the drinking water source also contaminated by the PFAS chemicals. And also the products, the children products and cooking products, and also the packaging, is food packaging, especially for the chips, burger, and other chicken fries. This wrapping paper also contaminated by the PFAS chemicals. And last year, I also shared this. We have been working on the very long time from 2008, eliminate lead from the paints. And now we are working the many products also where the lead is contaminated in our land, waters, and also the air. And I don't know if you know this, the science policy panel about this. As a participant, I attended in the first time. It's the first science policy panel, and also contribute our sound management of chemicals and waste and to prevent pollution. We share our views and knowledge, and also the government thoughts we also share in the science panel, policy panel. The last year is happened. And also the strategic approach to international chemicals management, SICAM, convened 27 February on behalf of WISE and INWES-APNN. And I also attended, and some of picture I just show, the many of them are here. And we are only 4 or 5 women is there. This year we celebrate the Women Days. So that time we organize a meeting, a Zoom webinar, and some of Nepal, Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, the participant also presented there. It focused on the role of women in textile. Yes. We know every time where we just working on these issues, every time we face the similar problem in everywhere. I think so. It's many policies and challenges we especially face in Bangladesh. There is no rules and regulation on the chemicals, protect the chemicals and chemicals toxicity here. So when we working on that, so we faces this many problem. First is the many policies and regulation. It's all are gender blind. And also the family support, institutional support, and most importantly, government support is very in pattern for women. And also the easy access to basic and secondary education, especially in science, and encouragement in the classroom, family and environment are important. What Mardin already discussed about this. And girls may still fall down from science and scientific fields at this stage of the ladder, as men and girls are not encouraged to choose a scientific professional career for fear of losing them in family affairs. It is the, I think in South Asia, we are mainly struggle on this line and this word, the family affairs. When the girl come and when the lady come with working with INWES-APNN and WISE, after got married, she losing. So this is really challenge for us. I don't know what we will do. So there is many areas that helping them. So still we are struggling this type of problems. And you know, especially in our field area, women are working over there, but taking a decision they don't the priority. So this is also still we are facing this problem. And science policy, people are calm, but here is the same situation is where all over the world is facing. The women come forward, but still the barrier from their family life, from their institution, everywhere they are facing this problem. But of course, we shall overcome because we are here. So we raise our voice and we should push a young generation. Thank you for your patience and giving me the opportunity to listening my what I mean that it's maybe it's not very good presentation, but it's just some views of what we are working on this area. So thank you all. And women in the profession and discrimination in terms of employment and promotion, we try to.
Thank you, Ms. Sultana, for updating Vice Bangladesh activities. It's very inspiring. Now we have Shri Hidayati from Indonesia waiting online. Please welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So, Senbenuta, hopefully I didn't pronounce incorrectly for this greeting. So I'm delighted to be part of this conference and meeting once again this year's. In fact, that I have prepared and shared our country report video to the committee earlier. Would it be possible to turn on from Mongolia? Hello.
Just a sec, please.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Hidayata, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, sorry for the internet drop.
That's okay.
So, okay, the screen is on, your slides on. You're welcome to talk.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. In fact, I have a video for this that I've shared before. If it is possible to turn on from the meeting venue, otherwise I will share from our side. Yeah.
Өөрт нь үдэлсэн юм шүү. Өөртөө ягаар. Okay, you can take the full charge at the end for your presentation.
Okay,
So
then.
we're gonna stop on this side. We're gonna stop here, and so you can start share your slides on your side. Maybe.
All right, let me try to share my video. Just a moment.
Good afternoon, Sen Ben Nuta, Dr. Jung Sun Kim, Dr. Aryan Bolar Kursi, Dr. Joanna Tepal, and all delegates. Greeting from Jakarta, Indonesia. My name is Sri Dayati, Chair Lady of the Forum Perempuan Insinyur Persatuan Insinyur Indonesia, or the Women Engineers Forum, the Institution of the Engineers Indonesia, FPI-PII. I'm delighted to be part of this conference once again after our previous meeting about a year ago. FPI-PII is one of the permanent body of the PII Central Committee established in 2015. It is strengthened by the existence of the Engineering Act number 11, 2014. We have 5 objectives which basically embrace the next generation women engineers, policy, and the community. So first of all, we'd like to encourage girls to choose engineering as their higher education major as well as the career paths. So the socialization to the engineering world to the girls is a must. The second one, for the existing female engineers, we would like to support their capacity as well as the competence so then they can more excel in their field. Third, we saw that adopting more women-friendly engineering policies and practices would benefit us. Therefore, we would like to encourage the relevant effort. Fourth, we understand that women engineers are still underrepresented in the leadership level. So we'd like to contribute to the increase of this number. Last but not least, we would like to take such a give back to society action by using our expertise and knowledge. This is especially for women, but an inclusive community is also welcome. In our structural organization, we have a board of advisors composed of prominent women engineers from leading organizations. There are 7 divisions within our organization, starting from the membership and capacity building up to the event and publication. Essentially, FPI-PII comprises women engineers from public and private sector as well as academic world. Talking about the activities, there are a number of events that we have done within the period of mid last year up to present. Majority of the event has been done in the form of collaboration. So starting with our participation in the previous INWES-APNN and WISET 2022, which is held in Kuala Lumpur in October last year. And then in November 2022, we undertook a CSR programs by initiating fundraising for the victim of a natural disaster that occurred in one of our provinces in Indonesia, and we organized the distribution to the site. In December last year, we participated in the conference of Asian Federation for Engineering Organization, or KAVIO 40, which was held in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, which we have a keynote speakers and panelists for the Women's Summit 2022 in this KAVIO. We also joined the annual Women Engineers RVO, which is VRVO board meeting, and RVO governing board.
Dear, apologies for the interruption.
Also had
So we carry
number of
on
the
now.
RVO leadership.
Maybe if you want to replay the video.
I'm sorry, could you hear the
Now
sound?
we can hear.
Okay.
So, but we were cut from the internet, actually from electricity. So we back on. So if you
Okay, I
can
see.
play the video,
All right.
please.
We start from the beginning. Hello. Hello.
Yes, people are suggesting to restart.
Okay, I see. All right.
Good afternoon, Sen Ben Nuta, Dr. Jung Sun Kim, Dr. Aryan Bolar Bursi, Dr. Joanna Tepal, and all delegates. Greeting from Jakarta, Indonesia. My name is Sri Dayati, Chair Lady of the Forum Perempuan Insinyur Persatuan Insinyur Indonesia, or the Women Engineers Forum, the Institution of the Engineers Indonesia, FPI-PII. I'm delighted to be part of this conference once again after our previous meeting about a year ago. FPI-PII is one of the permanent body of the PII Central Committee established in 2015. It is strengthened by the existence of the Engineering Act number 11, 2014. We have 5 objectives which basically embrace the next generation, women engineers, policy, and the community. So first of all, we'd like to encourage girls to choose engineering as their higher education major as well as the career paths. So the socialization to the engineering world to the girls is a must. The second one, for the existing female engineers, we would like to support their capacity as well as the competence so then they can more excel in their field. Third, we saw that adopting more women-friendly engineering policies and practices would benefit us. Therefore, we would like to encourage the relevant effort. Fourth, we understand that women engineers are still underrepresented in the leadership level. So we'd like to contribute to the increase of this number. Last but not least, we would like to take such a gift back to society action by using our expertise and knowledge. This is especially for women, but an inclusive community is also welcome. In our structural organization, we have a board of advisors composed of prominent women engineers from leading organizations. There are 7 divisions within our organization, starting from the membership and capacity building up to the event and publication. Essentially, FPI-PII comprise women engineers from public and private sector as well as academic world. Talking about the activities, there are a number of events that we have done within the period of mid last year up to present. Majority of the event has been done in the form of collaboration. So starting with our participation in the previous INWES-APNN and WISET 2022, which is held in Kuala Lumpur in October last year. And then in November 2022, we undertook a CSR programs by initiating fundraising for the victim of a natural disaster that occurred in one of our provinces in Indonesia, and we organized the distribution to the site. In December last year, we participated in the conference of Asian Federation for Engineering Organization, or KAVIO 40, which was held in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, which we have a keynote speakers and panelists for the Women's Summit 2022 in this KAVIO. We also joined the annual Women Engineers RVO, which is VRVO board meeting, and RVO governing board meetings. There was also a handover of the RVO and VRVO leadership during the side Carvio from Cambodia to Indonesia. So currently we lead the VRVO. In January this year, we had our national leaders meeting. This is a PII annual program which was attended by all the PII branches in Indonesia as well as overseas. And FPI PII was responsible to manage the publication of the events, including press conference and others press management activities. Next, as part of our continuous support to the government program in gender equality, women's rights, and children protection, we have been part of the community board for Forum of Professional Institution Friend for Indonesian Women and Children for period of 2022-2024. This forum is established under the Ministry of Women Empowerment and Children Protection, or PPPA, and legalized by decree of the Minister of PPPA number 14 2022. In relation to the World Engineering Day 2023 in March, we initiated and organized the VRVO webinar in collaboration with the VRVO country members with the theme of A Greener World for Everyone. Prominent presenters from the VRVO country members presented their outstanding invention or achievement relevant to the net zero emission topics to the audience. And to celebrate the International Women's Day and Hari Kartini 2023, we supported PII Batam chapter and Malaysian chapter in organizing the Girls Speech Contest. Madam Kartini is a prominent Indonesia activist who advocated for women's rights and female education. So this event was part of the Women's in STEM campaign, which was aimed to encourage students to be able to present a relevant engineering speech while also inspiring their peers and other young generation to the engineering world. In the area of research, we have collaborating with KIAT, the Indonesian-Australia Partnership for Infrastructure, for the women leadership in infrastructure research. This research was commenced in Q2 this year and targeted to be complete by Q4. Well, there will be a series of exciting activity regionally and local coverage, which are planned and prepared for the upcoming half years of 2023 by PII and FPI PII. We look forward to materializing these events and welcoming you to join in. Thank you.
So thank you very much for listening for watching the video. I return to the committee then.
So you done, yeah? After you've done, your report is done, yeah? Oh, you have, yeah, okay. Thank you very much. It's yeah, very detailed monthly phased reporting. So we have, thank you for participating. Next we have Shuhaida Ismail from Malaysia to update. Correctly.
Hello, hello. Yep, it's on. Thank you. You pronounced it perfectly. Okay, very good morning. Hi again, I'm Shuhaida from the Institution of Engineers Malaysia. There's a correction there in the booklet. My organization that I represented was stated as the Institution of Engineering and Technology. So that is not. I am representing the Institution of Engineers Malaysia, IEM, under the Women Engineers section together with Dr. J. Okay. So I'll be representing the INWES-APNN report of Malaysia based on the format given to us. Yeah. So just a little bit about my resume. This is as per format. So I'm currently the vice chair number 2 because we have 2 vice chairs for the Women Engineers section of the Institution of Engineers Malaysia, and I'm also the secretary for Project Management Technical Division. Currently, I'm the director for Maritime Institute of Malaysia. It's a research institute that developed the policy for maritime industry in Malaysia. So we work closely with Ministry of Transport and also the media, the mass media. This is where I hope by end of next week, one article, newspaper's article, will be published about INWES, about our meeting today, this today in one of the Malaysia prime newspaper. Let's hope for that. Okay. So a little bit about IEM background, Institution of Malaysia background. We are double of our fellow friend Korea. We are 64 years old, very old. Okay, very, very old. Okay, we have 48,000 members. And we in terms of membership with INWES-APNN, we are still considered infant, just 6 years old. Okay, so main activities as what we've been doing thus far, we've been conducting forum, technical visits, talks, especially at schools. Yeah, publication a lot, technical papers, seminars, conferences, presentations. We also did competition, not only for the engineering and scientists fraternity, but also to school children and members of the public at large. Engineering challenges competitions, mentorship, engineering degree programs evaluation, because we have to follow the Washington Accord and all this, the evaluation for the degree conferment. And finally, we also conducted survey. Okay, so our mission as stated over there, and also the objectives, it relates back to the main activities that have been conducted so far. Okay, let's look into the current status of Malaysian women. I will just first focus to what has been happened in the world. Okay, as per 2022, the United Nations stated that in terms of STEM students, we recorded at 35% of male, means there are more female students. However, as being mentioned earlier, yesterday by Dr. Sarah even, it's about the leaking pipe effects. Okay, eventually during the workforce participation or the labor force participation rate, as in Malaysia for 2022, we could see the gap. Okay, the men in labor force is at 80% compared to women close to 60%, a gap of 20%. Remember, this is just by gender, not considering STEM in particular. It's just the general. So the gap by 20%. This is followed by Malaysia gender gap, as you can see over there. It shows a declining trend since 2017, or I would say 2018. Okay. And looking at the specific, because in terms of MGGI, the Malaysian Gender Index, gap index, we are looking at 4 dimensions: education, economy, politics, and health. Yeah, we are superior. Female, we are superior in education. We are more than 1 point. Okay, and this is translated into here. Yeah. However, as you can see, in terms of economic participation, it's quite low at 0.7. I think it's all recorded the same by the other countries. Earned income, also there's a gap by 2,000 ringgit. And then in terms of legislation, it's only 24% of women participation as senior officials and managers. Education attainment, as I mentioned, it's more than 1. Literacy rate is almost equal. Health and survival also almost the same, 0.96. Life expectancy, this is where our life expectancy is 4.7 years longer than male. So this is where we should leverage on the life expectancy of birth for female. The sex ratio is 1,000 against 938 for baby girls. And then women parliament, it has been decreasing since 2015 at 14.9%, and even we are holding very less ministerial position at 15.6%. Okay, now let's look into the specific STEM graduates. As I mentioned just now, it was a gap of 20%. However, specifically for the STEM employment, we could see that the gap is not that much. It's between 69% by women and also 72%. It's by 3% gap. So that's something that is promising in Malaysian landscape. However, when we look at the position amongst women holding the decision maker position, holding the post as the decision maker, it's very low at 22.1%. This is far from the aim by the Economic Planning Unit in Malaysia in 2022 that aims to have 30% of decision makers amongst female. Okay, and for the figure 6, it shows that, yep, in terms of professional and technical workers, which include us, engineers and scientists, we are recorded slightly less than men at 40.6%, yeah, compared to 59.4%. So let's look back into the current scenario in what has been done by the other studies. World Bank in 2019 claimed that when we by removing all economic barriers for women in Malaysia, Malaysia economic development can be increased by 26.2% in terms of per capita income. Okay, and again last year in December 2022, the Ministry of Human Resources announced that the maternity leave will be increased from 60 days to 98 days. Okay, 44 hours per week from January onwards. However, 2 studies, very prominent studies, have come up with quite not so promising statement. Okay, for instance, the first one is by the Associated Chinese Chambers of Commerce of Malaysia, stated that through their studies, more than 40%, that is majority, expect that the Employment Act, this increment of maternity leave, will reduce women's employability in STEM. Why? Because the employers would prefer to mitigate the extra cost of paying us during the maternity leave to the male workers, male counterparts. Again, McKinsey and company stated that even though the more women participation in our economic development will increase the GDP by 50 billion US dollar by 2025. Therefore, if we push more women out, yeah, this could slow or hinder national growth. Okay, so what has been done by the Malaysian government so far? Okay, these are amongst the Malaysia's Women Empowerment Program. Okay, we've done the Empowerment Principle Activator launch in between 2022, will be ending in 2024. And recently, last year, we have announced the 6 initiatives to empower Malaysian women in general. The first is I Sayang. Sayang is, like yesterday, we were singing Rasa Sayang. Sayang means I love initiative. Okay, so where the husband will transfer 2% of their employee provident fund to the wife, 2%. Okay, and then elevation of women taking 30% of the decision maker, as I aforementioned just now, and they will assist around 1 million for the fund called Tabung Kasih Rahmah Wanita. This is for the concerns for women, especially those left in vulnerable situations, for instance, domestic violence, victims of domestic violence, and so on and so forth. And we have also the amended the guidelines for anti-sexual harassment advocacy program, 5 million specifically for research and development. okay, on women. And finally, the work from home scheme, especially for the divorcee, for a suitable period to enable them to manage the family matters. Yeah. And let's see what we have been doing. IEM. Okay, since January up until today, 30th June, okay, we have been doing 18 programs. 18 programs within the first 6 months of 2023. Okay, so January, 0, still warming up. So these are amongst the program. We have the first one is in February is the competition, and then we have a lot of forums, webinars, and we also have CSR programs, number 4 in March at one of the primary school in negeri in one of the state in Malaysia. And then we have a lot of seminars and also technical visit, yeah, in collaboration with other engineering related association. And even in June, we have the 10,000 steps competition. It's a kind of like treasure hunt, and also seminar on celebrating gender equality in energy industry, which is also published in newspaper. And I would like to take this opportunity to invite you, ladies, to our next forthcoming event on 6th of July. It's online. It's on in conjunction with the International Women in Engineering Day on safe and secure environment for women in engineering, #Make Safety Scene. So please, yeah, feel free to scan the QR code and register yourself. Okay, with that, I thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. For acting in a timely manner. So I am thinking to have Mongolia to report before the lunch break. So I invite Professor Inktul Sharudimril on stage to update on Mongolia. So you have 15 minutes. So just before the lunch, we also, after Professor Inktul, I'm thinking to delegate 2 minutes to Sylvia. She requested 2 minutes, yeah, on the membership fee status and something related matters.
Hello? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, and good afternoon, everybody. And we are really pleased to have you here, most intelligent and same time very talented ladies in Mongolia. So after the COVID, it's the first time for us inviting all you to our country. And I really hope that you are enjoying your stay here. So I would like to present my country report concerning what we are doing and what we are going to do next year. So here's all our board members. So we have 21 wonderful women in our board member, and lately the number of the members were rising after COVID, and it's reached around 500 members. So, as you know, Mongolia has very big landscape, but in terms of the population, we have only 3.2 million people. It means that per 1 square meter, we have 2 people. So, and half of them living in capital city. So we have this air pollutioning and the traffic jam in centers at the UB in capital city. But if you go around goes out from the city, it's beautiful steps and the nature. And tomorrow we will have this at least a little bit outside trip from Ulaanbaatar. And our mission is to enhance the reputation of Mongolian women in STEM field. And the mission of the STEM aims to contribute to the women's development in engineering education and its visibility in Mongolia. And we will accomplish this by increasing the participation of women in scientists, in technologists and engineers, in decision making and implementation of the relevant policies in Mongolia. And the main activities, what we are doing is to contribute the women's development in in the science field, and also the social activities to promote to younger generation to select these professions, because the younger generation wants to have only in business or in IT. And in our case, the younger generation is, how to say, is that this, they don't like to be in scientists in natural field or in agricultural. Also in PhD holders in science organization, also the number of the gender is quite equal. And it's the whole distribution among the industries, because most of the PhD holders is in business sector, medical sector, and education and engineering. It's the number is decreasing because we have less people in agriculture and the natural science. Also, IT sector and the service social sciences, the number is quite increasing, but still we have a small number of the people who's working in that industries. In terms of the student numbers, in bachelor degrees and the master and the doctor degrees, we have dominant from our side. So the 60% of the student in bachelor degrees and master and PhD degrees are the women, and the 40% is the male. And the graduation industry is also quite diverse to each other. And here's, these numbers is connected to our mission, because even though we have the same number or little bit higher number in terms of the students and the workers, but in decision-making position, it's the female number is quite less. For example, in province governance, last year in the history we have only one province governor from she started to work from the last year, and in terms of the member of the parliaments and the ministries, we have around 50% female, and male is quite dominant in decision-making sectors. So now it's about us, what we are doing. So generally we hold a monthly board member meetings. Now it's dual. Sometimes we meet offline, same time we can meet online, because we have 3 branches over to Mongolia. And also we are once a year we're holding the STEM conference among the young researchers, and the branch partner is organizing this event last for 5 years. And also we're holding this Girls in STEM or Teens in STEM, and this year we organized it quite broadly, because we was working together with Embassy of Canada. They funded us. So we selected 23 students among the secondary schools who's interested in STEM field. And during the 3 months, we have arranged to have a visit in different kind of research centers, companies who's operating in it. So these girls are quite interested, and they developed even our own projects in STEM fields. So before we organized just 2 or 3 days trip over the UB, but this year we have to say extended this program, because the little girls were so interested in it, and also the funding was quite good, so we had the money and time to organize the STEM girls in quite extended way. Also, the Erdenet branch has organized this annual meeting for us in Erdenet city, and it was quite a successful meeting for us to discuss about the last year reports and organize and plan the next year activities. And this conference was quite a big event for us. So Ms. Arun Butler and all of the board members was working quite hard on it. So it's our pleasure to have you all here. And also we're trying to find more projects on STEM field, especially addressed to young people, how to challenge them also to have the interest to work in STEM field among the universities and even the girls, because even they have the degree on STEM field, they not continuing working in that field. So not only these girls and teenagers, also the after graduates, after the bachelor degree, the girls and graduate students are changing the fields which are they working, because the trade industry and the business industry is getting quite important to Mongolia. So the engineers and technologists are changing their career path to another sector. So we're working with the GIZ, it's the German International Organization, to develop some application, how to connect the companies and the graduate students for the work in that fields. So this application is in development stage, and I hope next year we will have some cases and the best practices, how to connect the graduated students with the proper companies. And Okay, and that's it from our side. And thank you for being here. And let's continue the conference. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ingtol. It is. I just continue Ingtol's message, congratulating all the WSTEM Mongolia team, like board members, organizing and hosting the conference today. And then, Sylvia? So we are actually behind by half an hour. So after the lunch break, we have 1 hour. So please come sharp on time. Yeah, I'm asking you to come on time, but you never listen to me. Because if you don't come, we're going to stay overnight. So we are behind. Please keep in mind. So please be in the hall to sharp.
So just before the break, as you could use the break as well to contact me for that, some sentences about membership fee. I know that there is some countries who have no difficulties, some countries may have some difficulties, and some may have huge difficulties to pay membership fee. And so in that way, I'm here to support any of you to look at your personal, well, outstandings or paid. In this way also to review if there is anything we can do for you to improve transfers, because there is new possibilities coming up. We do have new banks and transfer options internationally as well. And if nothing else helps, you can also pay cash with me, and I would transfer that this way. So take the opportunity and just pass by, let me know. And we might also find some options to look at your membership data even. And I type that in the database. So hope to see you all at the counter here.
Yeah. So lunch is at the same spot, yeah? Miss өчигдрийн хороо яг өглөө юу lunch чинь харин болгош. Lunch доороо тий нэг тохортой. So we have the lunch at the same place on the first floor, and then there's posters outside in the corridor if you want to stop by, and then there's also a good excuse to have a conversation. Yeah.